Cop realizes psycho daughter's car is filled with bodies. Filled with bodies.
All right. You nervous? I'm out here with Mrs. Cassandra.
Officers have just arrived at the getaway motel of 28-year-old Cassandra Douglas. For the last 24 hours, she and her brother have been on the run after 3 of their family members were found dead and burned in the desert.
Damn, 99% this is either an animal or a person. Yeah. That looks like a human, dude.
And as these local officers prepare to confront the primary suspect of the most important case they've ever worked on, nothing could prepare them for the horrifying discoveries they're about to make.
Call the police! Anyone inside, make yourself known!
This is a horrible nightmare.
What are we looking at here?
I don't, you tell me.
This is one of the worst things that I've ever had to be involved with.
It's a routine Friday afternoon at the Otero County Sheriff's Office when dispatch begins receiving a series of unusual 911 calls from a young man.
Communications.
Hi, good morning. I'm hoping to file a police report, and I might need some assistance doing so.
Okay, and what's your first and last name?
Kane, me.
Okay, and tell me what's going on.
I've been living abroad for the past 6 years,
Okay.
and I found out that my father died last year shortly after Christmas. I have recently returned home. I'm living in New Mexico again, and I was hoping to return to the family property. Since his passing, tons and tons of family possession and property have all gone missing and have either been sold off, lost, or stolen. And I'm looking to reassume possession of the property, but there are people squatting in the house.
Do you know who these people are?
I do. I could give you first and last names, but not anything much else.
King goes on to clarify that the squatters inside his deceased father's property are actually family members, mainly his uncle Victor, who allegedly took over the property and is living there with Kane's grandmother and his...
This is already very weird. That phone call was so awkward. So awkward. I mean, I don't know why you dial 911 for help. You don't call like a dispatch for that. You at that point in time, I think you seek a lawyer. You don't ask for police help, but I guess police can help you for certain situations. I don't know, especially when it's a family dispute. I don't think it was right to get the police involved, but obviously the police needed to be involved. But it just sounded so weird. I was out of the nation for 6 years. I finally returned home. I want to require possession of it. My family happens to be squatting there. Like, I don't know. It's just weird.
Stepbrother. He also seemingly claims that his uncle Victor has sold off valuable assets, including firearms and expensive jewelry belonging to his father. The dispatcher logs the information Kane provides and passes it along for legal follow-up. However, not long after this first contact, on a Monday morning in January 2025, Kane calls again. But this time, it's for something strangely different.
Dispatch.
Hi there. I was calling because I'm wondering, what would it take for me to request a wellness check on somebody?
A welfare check on...
My grandmother?
You just call. You just call and request a welfare check. That's all you have to do. And then, because officers do patrols, so the way it works is they'll just loop in the wellness check in the patrol. Unless you truly feel like something like very important, they can rush it. But if you use the wellness check, they'll be like, all right, we have a patrol officer in the area. He could be at your house from do a wellness check between 20 minutes to an hour. Does that sound good? That's normally how it plays out. You can always ask. You can always ask. Of course, you can also misuse this type of situation. And I'm pretty sure there are some people that do.
Mary Mauser?
Okay. The sergeant is aware. They are on an emergency call right now. As soon as they're done, we'll head up there to do a welfare check.
Okay, excellent. Thank you, miss.
You're welcome.
A couple of hours after Kane requests a welfare check for his grandmother Mary, he calls...
Yeah, you can do wellness checks. It's actually something that's incredibly useful, especially for those who... so this is one of my family's worries, especially when my grandfather was still around. When his body started ailing, he refused to live in a home, and he always wanted his own independence. He hated, he hated the idea of coming and living with my parents. He hated that. Eventually, my parents had to strong arm him into moving in, but for the most part, he was living on his own. There were situations where he would fall over and just be stuck on the ground, not able to pick himself up. And it's just a blessing when you can actually do that, especially for those stubborn folks out there. I am not going to end up like that because my wife will never allow me to end up like that. So luckily, I'll be a free from that. But yeah, it is a really good service that's provided.
Police again for the third time to share new updates.
To La Rosa Communications, you're on a recorded line. How can I help you?
Hi, my name is Kane. I called earlier regarding wellness.
So Sergeant Nordquist is going to give you a call back. They have not responded there yet because they've been tied up with a warrant service where the person doesn't want to come out.
No, that's okay. We stopped by on our way down and everything is locked up tight. That's why I was returning your call, because you said if we can, that I should call you back.
All right.
And like if they're tied up with an emergency,
yes, sir.
We got to worry about the officers and make sure.
Yes.
That they're still
Thank you so much for understanding. I will. Okay, I will let the sergeant know then.
Following this latest call from Kane, the welfare check is officially canceled, and officers are no longer dispatched to the property. At this point, the dispatcher has no reason to suspect anything other than some kind of family dispute, and the situation appears to have resolved itself for now. In reality, something far more calculated is already in motion, and the family involved will soon be implicated in a scheme that will lead detectives down one of the most twisted murder plots they've ever handled. That same Monday, a few hours after Kane's 911 calls, a man arrives at the police station in the afternoon with an oddly timed request.
Hello, sir.
Hey, how you doing?
Doing well. Sergeant Nordquist.
Mike Blitz.
Mike, it's nice to meet you. How can I help you today?
Okay, well, my brother-in-law helps us take care of my mother-in-law.
Okay.
And he normally is very conscientious about showing up when he says he's going to show up and everything.
Yeah.
And we have, we scheduled him. We've been taking care of my mother-in-law for 7 years.
Okay.
She's 92 years old. So anyway, we normally communicate quite a bit during the week and stuff,
So, are you wanting to check on him or your mother-in-law?
No, on him.
He lives on Nogal.
Yes.
And somebody.
Again, a lot of this stuff is a wellness checks are normally done for a situation of like handling the elderly. Like kids should never be left on their own. So it's primarily for like the elderly, or you're out of state and you're worried about a family member you've tried to reach. He's literally asking for someone in the same town. Hey, I decided to come here to talk to you officers so you can go check on my brother-in-law. That is already so freaking bizarre. It's a massive red flag. Now, if he drove out of town and said he was on vacation and just wanted an officer, it would have been a completely different story. It's the fact that he showed up is already a massive red flag. Like, or if there was like family tension, something else. Like, I would go, but me and him just don't get along. But he's talking about how they communicate with each other. He's talking about all this extra. It's crazy. It's crazy. They're incriminating themselves right here. There's no officer who listens to this and goes like, okay, yeah, you're definitely not, especially after they see the situation of what everything's going on.
Somebody had called earlier. We were out busy, but someone had called in for a welfare check, but they canceled us prior to us getting up there because they said whoever it was, I can go look and find the name, that said that house was locked up tight and that nobody was up there.
The person Sergeant Nordquist is referring to is Mike's nephew-in-law, Kane Mays, and it appears that both Mike and Kane are concerned about family members. Though the family dynamics are becoming tricky to keep up with for the sergeant, Mike is about to make one thing about Kane crystal clear.
Do you know what Kane Mays?
Yeah, I do know. That's part of the problem.
Okay, so what's the problem there?
Okay, well, I think he's trying to keep us from going over the look. The house is owned by his father. Yeah, well, the owner of the house, okay, was Frank Bray, and he's deceased.
Frank is deceased.
Yeah. Victor, his brother, was living with him along with Kane's grandmother and his stepbrother, Killian.
As Mike continues explaining the complex family dynamics to the sergeant, one thing becomes clear.
This is why I'm so happy I'm from a family where my mother and father got married. They've been married. They had 5 kids. Me and my brothers are all from the same parental tree. My grandparents, the same situation, even though on my dad's side it was a little different. There is a blessing to when you don't have these weird family dynamics, these weird trees going on, these very weird trees going on. But okay. Because then you get like step sons, stepfathers, step nephews, it gets all confusing. I'm a simple man. I'm a very simple man. Just like how when I was learning Hindi, I got so annoyed because there's like 8, 9, like 20 different ways of saying cousin, whether they're on the mother's side, whether they're on the father's side, whether it's a brother of the mother, or like an uncle's family member, an aunt's family member. It's just every single one, it has a different single, it's just like, no, they're cousins. Just have one single word, one overarching word. It's like, oh, that's why we call everyone brother. Oh yeah, that's why. It makes it easy. It makes it very, very easy.
People are missing, all close relatives of Mike and Kane. But before Mike leaves, there's something serious he needs to warn the sergeant about.
I'm gonna get one of my deputies and we're gonna go after the address and see what we can see. See if we can find some.
Okay, let me give you some heads up. His dad had a lot of guns, Frank, before he died, and he taught Kane how to shoot. And when Kane came the other day, I didn't finish my story. When I pulled up there, okay, and I hollered out the window for Vic because the gate was closed, right?
Yeah.
Okay. And then a person comes to where I can see about this much of him, right? Up there. And I go, hey, Vic. And he goes, no, it's me, Kane. When he walks down to me, he's packed. He's armed. And I says, well, have you seen Victor? He says, no, nobody's up here.
Okay.
So I think if I were you, I'd look through one of 2 guys. Because I think he knows how to shoot. And I don't know if there were any like rifles and stuff like that where he could be, anyway. So I had his phone number. But then after I had his phone number, he had my phone number, he started texting. Your grandmother's missing, your uncle's missing, your stepbrother's missing, right? And this is what he's talking to me about. He's a pathological liar. I think he's up to no good. I really do. You guys gotta be really careful.
He said he just got off the line with Sergeant Nordquist, or North. He never called us. We never called him, contacted him.
It's becoming clear to the sergeant that something is off. Sensing this won't be a routine welfare check, Sergeant Nordquist takes note of Mike's concerns and prepares to head out to the house. What makes this case so unique isn't just the crime scene officers will soon walk into, but the way police have to piece it together, using advanced forensics and strategic elicitation to cut through the lies. And as the investigation unfolds, this will prove to be one of the most resource-intensive cases for everyone involved, with constant pressure.
Well, because everyone has their own... Again, family troubles is like one of those things that is incredibly difficult. Like, my abuela didn't have like a will or anything, and when my abuelo and abuela passed, it became difficult for the family on my dad's side to keep ties because everyone started squabbling over like because it, Hispanic culture, it's kind of different. My abuela had her first child at the age of 12, so she had a habit, like this is just something that she did to try and make the daughters fight for her affection. It was just something she loved knowing her daughters cared about her, I assume. So that's why she enjoyed having them fight for her affection and talking like, oh, I like this daughter when another daughter was visiting her, that kind of thing. And it was just a way for them to be like, oh, well, I'll do this for you. I'll do this for you. I'll do this for you. So that way they could win more approval in their mother's eyes. But the problem is, as soon as, well, abuela and abuela passed, well, everyone had all these resentment towards each other because everyone was everyone else's favorite towards the parents. The parents all had different favorites, so they all just started having issues with each other. That most of the time, I could be walking down the street and I wouldn't even recognize half of my cousins because I just have never spent time with them. However, on the other hand, on my mother's side, there's a will in place and there was a lot more understanding. There were a lot more family trips. There were a lot more things that people actually, even when my grandparents, when my grandfather finally passed, because my grandmother passed when I was like really young. When my grandfather finally passed, it was, everything was just discussed among the adults. And then it was just understood. It was just understood how things would be divided. And because there was a will put in place. But families fall apart over like squabbles, over the littlest thing, And it is rather tragic how families end up, well, going under because of things like this.
Long hours and difficult decisions at every step. Many of us deal with our own pressures and emotional struggles, and sometimes all it takes is talking to someone to begin working through them. There was a time when I got into a pretty bad argument with a close friend a while back, and said, let's get back to the investigation.
Better help.
Approximately an hour after talking to Mike, Sergeant Nordquist and a group of officers head to the property to conduct a welfare check. Based on Mike's previous concerns,
I don't know what it, I think there was like something going on with like better help, something bad that happened. But yeah, I don't know. But it is tragic. Like I'm a father through and through, even though I'm not a father. I understand what my father went through. I've always had the mindset of like someone like there is a mindset for those who are like have the parental mindset Whether you're a man, whether you're a woman, whether you're confused, there is a parental mindset that goes with it. And a lot of people sadly lack it. For women, they normally understand the urge at a younger age. For men, normally they don't understand the urge till they actually have children. But I've always had that understanding. But it is crazy, especially when families just fall apart over each other for greed. For like, and especially this day and age, there's a house involved. I mean, heck, if my brothers weren't so well off, I'd probably be like, okay, I want the house. I want the house. I want the house. Because it's just like, it makes it so much easier.
Officers approach the house cautiously in case they encounter Kane.
I got an open door. Sheriff's office! Sheriff's office, if you're here, make yourself known! Sheriff's office! Stay here with Sarge. Stay here with Sarge. Gotcha.
They just barged in.
Yeah, I was gonna say everything's stacked and piled.
Yeah. Yeah. The doorknob was locked on this? Yeah. Literally, when I went like that, I was like, the door just kept going. I was like,
Puzzled by the home's disarray, officers leave after confirming no one is inside. With boxes stacked throughout the home and both of Victor's cars, the blue and green Subarus missing, officers assume the family may have moved out. In reality, the clutter wasn't accidental. It was intentionally staged to conceal evidence of foul play, and it has done exactly that. None of that is apparent now, so Sergeant Nordquist calls Mike on the phone to update him on the situation. This is where the two men will slowly start to pick up on just how sketchy this whole ordeal is.
Oh, sir. So we went up to that address. So we cleared the residence. There was nobody inside. There's no vehicles matching the descriptions of the Subarus you gave on the property. So, but there was no signs of a struggle, no signs of any foul play that we could determine. There were some boxes that appeared to be like being packed up, but other than that, that's all we got.
The thing is, all three people are missing that were staying there at the house. But definitely the king is the kicker. He's the one that did all that. He called, got your name, and then he was able to send me that text saying that he spoke to you.
Yeah.
And then he called back later and canceled the deal, right?
Yes, sir. And on the face of it, it looks super sketchy, but there was no indication that we could see of any foul play or
A struggle or anything.
struggle. Yes, sir.
As the sergeant tries to reassure Mike, even he begins to wonder if the scene is hiding more than it appears. A few hours later that afternoon, Nordquist returns to the station and calls Kane, trying to understand why he canceled the welfare check and why, most strangely, no one was inside the house.
It's funny how people think they can outsmart like the like investigations, like I was going to say federal investigations, but like police investigations. People always think they can outsmart this stuff. Always. And the thing is, there are people who do get away with doing heinous, absolutely heinous acts. Either they, like OJ definitely didn't do it, right? Like they're able to win it in the court because lawyers are nothing more than storytellers. They litigate the narrative, and the one with the better story, especially when you're dealing with juries, is the one to win. If you win the story narrative in a jury courtroom, you're the one that wins. The best way to stay out of it is to never get involved. Like that's why serial killers are incredibly hard to capture, because there is no rhyme or reason. They just grab them, take them, and remove them. They're incredibly difficult to capture because of that. Because normally there's like a family member. It's like there's a reason for it, like money. There's some kind of incentive. There's the health insurance. The young wife just wanted her millionaire, ugly old husband's finances. You know, that kind of stuff, which happens a lot. And they always think they plan the perfect murder. They always think they plan the perfect murder when that's not the case. That's not the case. And they get away with it for a short period of time, continue on living their life, and think they're doing good. And then eventually it catches up to them. It catches up to them. But I'll try and add that video recommendation you gave to the list. All right, Sajul Rajput. I'll try and add it to the list. But yeah, it's crazy. It's crazy how everyone thinks that they're above it. And they're like, everyone thinks they're Sherlock Holmes, I guess, when they're in the middle of committing a crime. Everyone thinks they're Dexter Morgan. But then again, Dexter Morgan was a serial killer, and serial killers are just difficult to capture.
Hi, this is Sergeant Nordquist at the Sheriff's Office. Is this Mr. Mays?
Yes, sir. How are you?
The reason why I'm calling is in regards to earlier this morning, you had contacted our office to do a welfare check on a family member.
That's correct.
Who is that family member to you?
It's my grandmother.
Your grandmother? Who lives up there with your grandmother at the 121 No-Go?
That would be an uncle of mine and my brother.
Do you have any information on them attempting to move anywhere?
I was told that my brother and my grandmother are planning to move soon.
So So the reason why I'm calling is we went up to that address because Mr. Belletti stopped
Thinking
by.
about
He was the one who
Dexter.
recommended that we give you
Yeah.
guys a call. He seemed pretty upset. He was looking for Vic.
So we went inside the residence to make sure that nobody was hurt or injured. Nothing was broken into. We didn't see any signs of struggle or any signs of foul play. Did you text Mr. Belletti at all today?
I mentioned that we stopped by, and I had given you guys a call and everything was okay.
Who told you that everything was okay?
Dispatch coordinator, I don't remember her name.
Because the information.
What? This, again, moron. This stuff is recorded. You're literally called them saying, oh, everything's fine. It's okay. You were the one telling the dispatch operator everything's okay. She never told you. She's all right, thank you. We're going to deal with what we're dealing with. It is so freaking ridiculous. All this stuff is recorded. Everyone thinks their intellect is all the way up here. They're smarter than everyone. It's ridiculous. They think they can get away with it. They think they can get away with it.
That I got was that you called back and said you went up there and everything was okay.
Correct.
Now, what was in that text message to Mr. Belletti? That's what I'm confused with.
I let him know that I tried to call you, and the dispatch officer said that you were tied up with, it sounded like a pretty hostile situation.
So his story immediately changed. Immediately changed within a matter of seconds, just being asked a follow-up question.
The way the text message reads was that you had made contact with me, and I know for sure, and you know for sure that didn't happen, so that way it looked kind of weird.
Naturally, Nordquist doesn't know what to make of Kane's message to Mike, in which he seems to falsely claim to have spoken with the sergeant. Suspecting Kane is hiding something, Nordquist ends the call and immediately requests a...
Those tattoos are a little severe. A little severe. That's a hardcore officer. That's a hardcore officer. Gosh.
Search warrant for a second search of the house. While they wait for the warrant to be processed, all police can do now is hope the missing trio turns up safe. A hope that is far removed from the gruesome reality awaiting them just a few hours from now. Early on a Wednesday morning that week, around 10 a.m., something strange happens about 200 yards from the house where the trio vanished. A passerby takes notice and calls 911.
911, where's your emergency?
Yeah, I'm phoning about there's a fire off into the mound area. I called before, about 2 minutes ago. So
we drove down the road to see if we could get a better view of the fire to help you guys out.
Okay. Well, we have already toned out the fire department, so we will get units headed that way to see if they can locate.
Yeah.
Okay.
They sit at the top of that road for a second. They'll be able to see it.
We'll let them know.
Shortly after the call, 2 deputies are dispatched to investigate the fire. Once they arrive at the reported location, one of them spots something disturbing in the distance. A burned, flipped-over vehicle matching one of Victor's missing cars.
We got tire tracks towards the direction I walked. Just follow the path.
How'd they flip it?
I got the vehicle. It's smoking. I got a couple sets of shoe impressions, tire tracks, all that. 99% sure there was a page and a spinal cord in here, in this vehicle.
There was a what? They're bleeping out the words. I'm not entirely sure what they were saying.
That looks like a human, dude. These didn't burn hot.
Yeah.
Well, hopefully Slater's and his team's on the way.
As officers look inside the car, they can see what appears to be the burned remains of 3 people, too badly damaged by the fire to identify them at the scene. Suspecting a homicide, they call in Sergeant Nordquist, and it wouldn't take long for him to connect the dots.
So this might be a Subaru that's a vehicle that they haven't accounted for yet. Look right here.
Oh, for sure.
You see it?
Do you see a soul anywhere?
Oh my gosh.
Just given the circumstances, this actually might be one of the missing people.
What's that right there?
Yeah, that's why subtitles are there. Well, the subtitles were also blurred out. They had the first letter and then the star or pound sign. And I just was putting 2 and 2 together, I guess. But it's fine. It's fine. But I could never imagine. Like, this is why I think we're too lenient here in the United States. This is why I believe, like, psych evaluations are so important. Like, understanding, like, again, a psychopath can do great wonders to society if they're in a position of, like, again, a lot of top performing individuals in, like, medical fields or, like, CEOs or, you know, the cream of the crop. A lot of them probably have some kind of psychopathic tendencies or sociopathic tendencies just because they care about the number one priority, which is themselves. They always put themselves before everything else. And again, there's nothing wrong with that as long as they're still adding to society, paying their taxes, paying their dues. It's when they start committing crimes where that's where I have an issue. And the thing is, you also have to keep in mind there are those people who just lack the intelligence to understand right from wrong, or they were just raised in a poor environment and never truly understood, or they were easily manipulated by others or the things they watch online thinking that stuff is okay. Like there is a litany of things that come together that create the problem. It's not just one thing. There is a litany of things that come together to create the problem. And that, I think, is the really, really sad part, is that in the United States, a lot of this stuff happens because, like, we get the situations of, like, school shootings or concert shootings, or, like, a reason why we can't have midnight showings is because the Batman movie, when it's a midnight showing, I think it was The Dark Knight, where, yeah, someone went to the midnight showing and shot up the location. And ever since then, we've never had midnight showings of, like, the brand new films. They had to close those down because of that. And it has nothing to do with, like, the U.S. being gun friendly. It has to do with the fact that a lot of people don't understand right from wrong. A lot of people don't understand what tools are used for. A lot of people just don't have any concept. They lack the understanding. Like, for me, I could never even imagine doing something like this towards my family, towards, I guess, my grandmother, my brother, and my uncle, which technically that's, yeah, it was his uncle, it was his grandmother, and his stepbrother. Yeah, I would never do it to my best friend. It's crazy. It's crazy.
I was looking at that too.
Oh, yeah.
That's about that right there.
Yep. By one of our missing people, the missing vehicle.
From up here?
Huh?
From up here?
Yeah, I guess Brad, he suspects some guy named Kane killed most of his relatives that live here. And this vehicle, like, I think it's a Subaru. Looks like
it's really fresh, dude. Fresh more over here.
He had to put that himself, because it would have caught this whole place on fire.
Yeah.
What
No more
officers are
midnight
beginning to
showings.
suspect is
No Conjuring
horrifying.
midnight.
Not only do the burned remains likely belong to the 3 missing individuals, but given how recent the fire is, the person responsible may have burned the bodies just hours ago and could still be within reach of police. So, once the scene is secured and the bodies are sent for autopsy, a nationwide BOLO is issued for Kane Mays. Although police now believe they know what happened and who's responsible, they have no idea just how far beyond Kane this plot goes. There are more players involved, more targets, and a multi-state homicide case that will exhaust every resource police have.
We gotta find him. We're afraid of him.
There was one time I should have died. Probably should be dead twice.
And he was so aggressive. I thought we were gonna die. I thought he was gonna shoot us on the property.
More than 24 hours after the fire, officers remain unable to find or contact Kane, raising concerns that he may be on the run. But this is when the initial autopsy results come in, confirming what officers had feared all along. The burned victims are Kane's close relatives: his uncle, Victor Perea, his grandmother, Mary Mouser, and his stepbrother, Killian Mays. Beyond confirming their identities, the autopsy offers little actionable insight. At least one victim had a confirmed gunshot wound to the head, but the other remains were too severely burned to identify all injuries. Investigators surmised that the victims were likely incapacitated well before the fire was set. Following these horrific findings, they begin digging deeper into their main suspect's background. It turns out Kane Mays had been living in Canada and working as an engineer until just a few months earlier, and had
America's retarded cousin. It's funny because the book I'm going through, it takes place in Canada, and I'm just like, okay. How do you end up with all these guns here? Okay. Oh my gosh. All right.
Several documented domestic incidents involving his wife. Hoping she may know where her husband is, officers reach out to Kane's wife on the phone, where they'll find out she might know far more than that.
Hello, my name's Justin Mitchell. I'm a detective with the Otero County Sheriff's Office in New Mexico. Are you Samantha?
Yes, I am. I had a feeling I might receive a call from you at some point since I did give you guys a call.
Yes, ma'am. You want to tell me from the beginning, like how you met him and your relationship with him?
I've actually been speaking to the Ontario Provincial Police because I thought he was messing with me, like I mentioned. So I'm also filing a case against him right now, but because it's Canadian and now he's in America, who knows if that's gonna. But he wasn't physically violent with me. I have evidence of it. Yeah, we just met playing video games online, and we started an online relationship. And for a few years, it was just basically we would talk. And then one day, he calls me up and he says that his father disowned him, and he needs to move here right away. He's always been verbally towards me, and just in general, he had a weird attitude towards things. Eventually, we moved out. Brace yourself for this one because I feel that I didn't come forward, told people that he had beaten me, and now this has happened. I'm gonna be honest with you. Like, we both had an alcohol problem, but I never drank before I met him, and he definitely like pushed that on me, and he pressured me to drink a lot. Like, there was always a pressure. He wanted me to do it. He just did start hitting me.
Why do people put themselves in these situations? Why? And this is the sad part. This is the sad, like, I know there are men who get forced into situations, but the majority of cases I have seen, it's always women who, like, women, there's that cliche that, oh, I'm gonna change him. No. We are inherently stubborn. Men as a species are inherently stubborn. We're inherently flawed that way. Women are always the ones, from what I have seen, who have changed who they are to adapt towards the man. And it is always for the worse. It's always in the abusive situations. It's always for like, oh, I don't want to, like, most guys know at least one person, one woman out there, which has been in a very bad situation. And when they finally got out of it, they're like, oh, I didn't want to report it because I don't want to hurt his family. He has a nice grandmother. He has a nice sister. Well, who cares? This person's going to torment the next person they come across. Everyone primarily knows one person that has been through a situation like that. And they normally are never willing to go to ruin that person. Because, oh, I just don't want to. The same thing happened with like the whole streamer Emiru thing, where she finally came forward about her assailant months later because, oh, I just wasn't going to say anything because it doesn't mean anything unless he goes to someone else. It's like, that's not how it works. If someone does something wrong, they have to pay for the consequences of their actions. That's just how it works. People need to pay for the consequences of their actions instead of being like, oh, I'll just be quiet. I've gotten out of it. The next people that go deal with it, not my problem. Crazy.
He did start getting violent with me. Probably should be dead twice.
Samantha's statements are nothing short of horrifying. But even worse, she would share a terrifying recording with detectives, captured during one of the numerous domestic incidents involving Kane.
You just let me go.
And I do every time. When you ask, I let you go. I don't want you to.
Please stop.
Is this your neck? Is this your neck?
The rest of this recording is too disturbing to play on YouTube, but it clearly documents an alleged serious domestic violence incident involving Kane. Investigators now know they must act quickly, as more people, including Samantha, could be in immediate danger. So later that day, after securing approval for the earlier search warrant, police return to the victim's house, but this time, they bring specialized chemicals called Blue Star, used to hunt for hidden blood, bullets, and evidence that may have been cleaned up. And what they're about to uncover would reveal just how many crucial clues officers had missed during the initial search. Inside the kitchen, detectives spot one of 3 spent .22 caliber shell casings, along with a live .22 round. Using Blue Star, they also detect high-velocity blood spatter throughout the home. As the search continues, investigators notice clear attempts to clean up the scene, and given the precision and speed with which the bodies were disposed of, they begin to suspect a grim possibility. This was not the work of a single perpetrator. But then, officers find something very strange. Condoms and pregnancy tests stored with cleaning supplies near the well house and septic area. Following these disturbing findings, police would continue searching the property and contacting Kane's relatives, worried he may already be far away, possibly even on his way back to Canada. A few days later, as detectives continue searching for leads on Kane, they decide to pay Mike and his wife, Lourdes Blett, a visit. Just like Kane, Lourdes also has personal ties to all 3 victims. Victor Peria was her brother, Killian Mays was her grandnephew, and Mary Mouser was her brother's partner. But before investigators can hope to learn anything about Kane's whereabouts or possible accomplices, they must first deliver the tragic news to the couple.
Yeah. Yeah, nice to meet you.
Hi, Lourdes, how are you? Detective Ferry. What's your first name? Bobby. Hi, this is Ashley. Do you mind if I sit down?
Well, I would like to give you guys a little bit of information. As I told you yesterday, I do want to let you know that there was a vehicle fire that was in close proximity to the house. There were 3 subjects that were not able to be identified that were inside of that vehicle. I cannot tell you who those subjects are.
On the property? In the Subaru? Or the...
I can't tell you what vehicle it was for sure right now. Again,
so you already know there are 3 people?
I can't
but you
tell
know
you
there's
who
3
they
people?
are. Yes. I'm really sorry that I even have to share this information with you.
This is a horrible nightmare. I mean, it's horrendous.
I agree with you 100%.
Murder.
This is one of the worst things that I've ever had to be involved with.
Upon hearing the news, Lourdes is beyond devastated. What makes the situation even scarier is that she fears whoever is responsible may not be done yet.
He's a psychopath. He's a psychopath. Kane, I didn't want to say that. I didn't want to drop him in the doodle, but he's crazy. You gotta find him. We're afraid of him. He hasn't even asked how my mother is, and that's his blood grandmother. Oh my God, how can it be? Michael, how can it be?
We hoped for better. But...
No, it's not even imagination.
We are working on so many different leads right now.
In my
and trying
worst-
to
in my-
connect
Just catch
everybody.
him. Everybody be safe because he's crazy.
In my worst imagination, I thought I didn't know how to tell you guys this, but I was going to say, can you look for the infrared and see if there's any graves on the property? That's what I was going to tell you all. You know, how they can tell
That's what's
something had been
sitting
burned.
with
And this has got to be the worst
This
of the
is-
year in
this is
Mexico. I
part
mean,
of-
I haven't heard anything this horrendous on the news lately.
Yet.
The fact that she was told about the there was no one on the premises, and she's all, oh, look for graves on the property. Her mind was already there. She already knew what that person was capable of. This is why there has to be more of a strict situation. Like, you have to go, like, again, I don't want like a police state, but at the same time, we have to be able to respect our neighbors. In the US, we're getting into more and more of a low trust society, especially in higher populated areas. In the bigger cities, it's becoming a much more low trust society. But in the country, it's still more high trust, because I think it's still the fear of you're gonna get mug a country person at your own peril type of situation, because most likely they're strapping. That's kind of the mindset still right now, which is a good thing. I mean, people should be able to be like, you know what, maybe I shouldn't do something stupid because I will pay for the consequences of my actions. When people aren't held account, or we don't actually report people who do heinous acts or things like that, this kind of stuff happens more and more and more.
Indeed, this kind of killing doesn't happen every day, but investigators are about to hear another person of interest from the couple, someone who may know more about where Kane is.
So in our job, you will hear law enforcement say a lot, you know, it's what you know and what you can prove. And right now, we're working on collecting the information so we can prove what we believe we know.
Yeah, see, the thing is, we don't know what he did all those years, wherever he was. What did he do? Who did he know?
And
What
we're
was
also
his?
working on it.
We have no idea.
I would even be worried about his sister, Beck and Roswell, so-called
That's-
stepsister, you know? When that one text he sent me about working with the, over in Roswell, or whatever he said.
Yeah, he was saying something about helping out his sister with her crazy ex.
Crazy ex, yeah.
Something like that you had
Yes, I think it was a relationship. I kind of remember that at the beginning, that she wasn't with that guy anymore because of that. It's like I was supposed to feel sorry for her. So when they first were like chit-chatting and everything.
Oh, in the
like,
conversation?
yeah,
Okay. She's talking about
Yeah, I
Thanksgiving
think
Day
that
call.
they said something about that.
Mike would go on to identify the woman in question as 28-year-old Cassandra Douglas, Kane's half-sister. And based on his concerns and the evidence from the home search suggesting at least 2 people were likely involved in the cover-up, detectives begin to wonder if Cassandra is the next key piece to the puzzle. So with this new lead, the interview concludes, and investigators shift their focus to Cassandra and her potential connections to the homicide. Coincidentally, as
Incest. I'm just saying it. That's what's going on. That's what's going on. Of course. You have hillbillies. Of course.
Investigators prepare to call Cassandra the next day, she reaches out to them instead with a very peculiar 911 call.
Hi, is there any way that you would mind putting in a welfare check on my brother, Kane Mays?
What's the address?
He told me that he was going to 680 Cox Canyon, Cloud Cross, New Mexico.
680 Cox Canyon?
Yes, ma'am. He was supposed to meet up with our uncle and told me that if he didn't come back last night, and definitely if he didn't come back in the morning, that I needed to call you guys. He's been part of a missing persons thing, and Mike has been acting very aggressive and hostile towards us.
Not only is Cassandra claiming her brother Kane is also missing, but she's suggesting that her uncle Mike might have something to do with it. Once investigators catch wind of this 911 call, they immediately sense something is off. The timing is highly suspicious, almost as if it's part of a plan to deflect suspicion away from Kane. So later that day, officers are sent to her address with one goal in mind: assess the situation and determine whether her claims hold any weight or if it's just an attempt to mislead the investigation.
Hello.
Hi.
Are you Candace?
No, Candace is across the street.
Okay, are you Cassandra?
I am.
Okay. So my name's Ryan, Poston Reader.
Hi.
I'm a detective with the Ruidoso Police Department.
Hello.
Do you have a second to talk to me?
What's up?
So did you make a 911 call for a welfare check?
I did for Kane Mays.
For Kane, yeah.
Yeah.
That was you that made that call.
Mhm.
Okay. Have you heard from Kane?
I have not.
No, you still haven't heard from him?
I have not.
How do you know Kane?
He's my brother.
It's your brother?
Or my half-brother.
And when was the last time you heard from him?
He was supposed to go up to meet with Mike, I think on the 21st. He told me that if he didn't show up by the morning of the 22nd, that I needed to file a missing persons report because I already have 3 family members missing. Killian and Mary were supposed to go up to Albuquerque. I haven't seen those 2 alive since 11/23. Give me just a second.
Okay.
The fact that she's talking about I haven't seen them alive since, just a lot of the wording is just weird. Everyone's wording is weird in this. Even the Uncle Mike who went in to put in the police report for everything just seems all so freaking weird. Just speak. Just speak. They're talking in riddles.
Officers have no clue at this point, but Cassandra isn't alone. Right this moment, their prime suspect, Kane Mays, is hiding inside the very house they're standing in front of.
Sorry, we're also having issues with a psychotic ex of mine. So
Jeez, you're going through a lot right now.
a little bit. And then with Kane going missing and Mike presumably having like over half of his guns. It's a really, really long story, and not one that I'm 100% familiar with, because Kane just came back into my life September of last year. So like, I wish I had all my facts straight.
I completely understand. No big deal. How did they come into your life?
Through Kane.
Okay. So Kane comes into your life, and then now you meet Mary and kill him. Okay. And then now all of them are missing. And have you talked? Did you ever have direct contact with Mike?
I never had direct contact with Mike, no. I just heard him screaming from the hill both times.
As she did earlier, Cassandra doubles down on her accusations, suggesting that officers should focus on Mike, implying he may be involved in the disappearances. Officers take note of her statements and ask her to give them a call if Kane shows up again. Their goal remains unclear, but now that they have a story, they can start verifying. So a few hours later, as police continue looking for Kane, an officer decides to stop by the neighborhood again and speak with Cassandra's neighbors to see if they've heard or seen anything. According to them, Cassandra hasn't been living alone. A man with long dark hair has been staying with her for the past few months. Additionally, witnesses report seeing the same man driving Victor's missing green Subaru, and that it was also seen parked outside Cassandra's residence multiple times. Realizing the description of the man matches Kane, officers return to the station to dig deeper into Cassandra's earlier claims, where they will very quickly uncover some major contradictions. Even though Cassandra insisted she had only recently met Kane, investigators discover an older Facebook photo of the two together, proof they've known each other for years. But that's just the first lie, because officers who were out looking for Kane also recover surveillance footage from a nearby Walmart, showing Kane and Cassandra shopping together alongside her sons and daughter. Besides buying groceries and food, investigators spot cleaning supplies like bleach and vinegar, along with multiple bottles of kerosene, items that closely align with what would be needed to clean up a violent crime and start a fire. At this point, investigators are unsure if Cassandra is actively hiding a wanted fugitive, or if she's being controlled and forced to cooperate with someone who has already killed 3 members of her own family. With suspicion mounting, detectives obtain a search warrant for Cassandra's house. Then, around 8 p.m. that night, a group of officers return to the property, taking up positions outside the house as they prepare to raid it.
Occupants of 7 Morningside. This is the Roswell Police Department. Exit the front door with your hands up. Do it now. You got shield? Yep. Roswell Police, search warrant! I guess we're just gonna boot this thing.
Kick it! Kick it!
Almost. One more.
Roswell Police!
The issue was where he was kicking. So when you're kicking a door, if you look.
You got shield? Yep.
It doesn't look like he's actually reaching, because you need to kick the actual you need to kick it like right here or maybe right under. But with it having a deadbolt, you need to kick it right here, because with the force here, it'll push it out. It'll push it out and then it'll pop, because it's only held in by a bit of wood. Maybe because we're not hearing the bang 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 because it's getting clipped out on the audio feed because it's so loud. But yeah, it looks like he's not reaching high enough. It looks like he's probably kicking right here, or maybe right here, about right there. But yeah, he would need to reach this point. But it is higher up due to the steps.
Roswell Police, anyone inside, make yourself known! Alright, we're gonna pull in. I'm gonna take left. Ready? Smart.
Yes, it's that easy to break into a house in the US. It's that easy. Of course, you also have to be wary of, like, I dare anyone to try. I say that someone would take me up on it, and then I'll be in the court. It's like, why did you gun this man down who walked into your house? Because in the state of California, it's weird. But it's just like, well, they broke into my house. Why wouldn't I? Yeah, so that's why most people don't do it. But yeah, it is that easy. You just have to hit the right spot.
Another door here.
Ready?
Yep.
I'm gonna go. I got a hallway with the looks like the refrigerator kitchen. Right on me.
And Cassandra Jolly's the one that lives here, huh? Yeah. Look, they got some La Muerte stuff right here. Santa Muerte. There's a. See that? Wait.
This is weird. Been hanging out because there's that monitor for the camera that's in the window.
What are those guys on a fucking terrorist watch?
Did you remember what those cigarette packs were?
I had a Marlboro and then I had a. Yeah, I saw that one in the closet.
Another one. Your big cans are all in this room. Your Red Bull can.
Inside, something about the house immediately feels off to the officers as they observe unusual posters, graffiti, and other unsettling details scattered throughout. They then make their way into the bathroom, where one officer recalls hearing that something might be hidden underneath the house.
always in New Mexico. Yeah, yeah.
No, yeah. I'm sure this one gives the price.
Like underwear?
That's what he said. The neighbor across the street said that he used to live here, and then there's a door underneath the washer and go. At least the basement.
Because did they say there was another secret exit or something here?
Windows. What do they go to?
Do you they look up there already?
Ready?
Incident is happening. Oh, heck no. Yeah, no. Like, for me, I would be okay with a basement. I would be okay with an attic. If me and my wife got a place with a basement or attic, that's where I'd put my studio. But because of my wife, I'll never get a place with a basement or an attic, because apparently that's where the ghosts live. The ghosts apparently like the basements and attics.
Yeah, I'll hold it.
No dust on it.
Oh, that'll fit.
That.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Oh, yeah.
That's too new.
Mm-hmm. Oh.
It's kind of weird to have a door right there too, huh?
At the center of the basement sits a plastic storage tote, toolbox, duffel bags, and other various items. Officers notice there's no dust on the items, and whoever left them behind was in a hurry, possibly trying to leave unnoticed. Beyond the basement, police would go on to find something highly suspicious: documents belonging to one of the victims, alongside paperwork linked to Kane's father and live .22 caliber ammunition. Following these discoveries, investigators secure the scene and begin working to obtain a real-time location warrant for Cassandra's phone. With their suspicions growing that Cassandra fled with Kane, officers know they need to locate them quickly before they vanish, potentially escaping to Canada. 12 hours later, investigators strike gold. The warrant for Cassandra's phone is successfully approved. And in a major development, Verizon pings Cassandra's phone nearly 1,000 miles away. She's no longer in New Mexico, but in Hernando, Mississippi, inside a Super 8 motel. With this discovery, the case becomes multi-state, with police in Mississippi quickly briefed on the investigation. Officers are then dispatched to locate Cassandra. This is the final phase in the case, and what happens next will determine whether police get the critical answers they need or lose the lead entirely. As officers make their way to the Super 8 motel, their primary objectives are to extract information about Kane's whereabouts, test Cassandra's statements, and determine how deeply she may have been involved in the homicide of her own relatives. When officers finally arrive at the motel, something immediately feels off.
Mister?
Or actually, technically I'm Douglas, because I still have my ex's last name.
So, what's going on? What are we looking at here?
I don't know, you tell me. All I know is that my brother went missing on the 21st. We were trying to investigate his property. We thought Mary and Killian had left. And then Mike came down and started being aggressive and hateful and shooting rounds. And we've already tried to file this with the Roswell Police Department down in New Mexico.
Would you consent to a search of your vehicle?
You can search the car and you can search the room. I don't care.
Okay.
Interestingly, Cassandra now seems on the verge of an emotional breakdown for reasons the officers are yet to understand. After all, only 24 hours have passed, and seemingly no new information has been relayed to her. Neither news of the murder, nor that Kane is the main suspect, nor that her house was just searched. So to get to the bottom of her emotional reaction, Mississippi officers on scene coordinate a call with Special Agent Kyle Graham in New Mexico, who's been tracking the growing list of contradictions in Cassandra's statements. Using those inconsistencies, the detective is about to carefully test Cassandra's story and see how far she cracks.
Do you mind grabbing those, taking your waffles upstairs?
I'm not upstairs, I'm downstairs.
Downstairs?
Yeah.
No, yeah.
184.
You spoke with the detective 2 days ago at your house in Roswell, correct?
Yeah, but the mother showed up and I had to leave, so I brought them over here to Mississippi. Why is anything wrong?
No, there's nothing wrong with that. What we're trying to do is we're trying to figure out what's going on with Kane and his family.
I don't know. I haven't even, I just met Killian and my grandmother for the first time in my entire life in November.
So were they there whenever you guys were there?
No.
Where were they at?
I don't know. The house was empty and there were boxes in the middle of the living room. That was his dad's property. He was supposed to go to him afterwards, but he wasn't here. He had to go up to Canada.
And so who was driving in the dead house? Like, who could drive a car?
They all could. I know that they had that little blue car.
And who was driving the green car?
That I don't know. As far as I know, that car is not drivable.
Well, we have video of Kane driving the green Subaru.
Huh.
And we have information from the neighbors that the green Subaru was at your house at one point in time. This is what I want, okay? I just want honesty. Okay, I know you know a little bit more than what you're telling me. I don't know if you're trying to protect Kane or if you're scared.
I'm scared because I don't know what's going on.
Okay, well, we've been working this case for 3 days straight. And I know a lot more information than I'm telling you.
Of course you do.
I'm trying to see if you're going to be honest with me.
With every sentence, the detective becomes more convinced that Cassandra is hiding something she fears could incriminate her brother or even herself. But there is something a lot more concrete detectives previously uncovered, and the detective is about to leverage it to completely trap Cassandra.
Are you aware that Kane made a police report whenever he got to the house originally, the very first time, about people squatting in his father's house?
Yeah, because they weren't supposed to be there. They hadn't paid any of the mortgage on it. We found documents showing that they were still using Frank's credit cards, and Frank had been dead, and that all of the bills were still in Frank's name, and they were still using that. And so I told him that that was illegal and he needed to make a police report because you can't be using, don't stick that in my face, honey. That's like identity theft.
Is it true that Kane didn't even know his dad died?
Yeah, he didn't know that his dad died until he came back to States. He found his obituary. He found his obituary shortly before on the internet. That's how he figured it out.
So almost a year later, he finds out his dad died.
And I know that he's upset about that. But that's not enough reason to kill somebody. I didn't do that.
So then what? So did he kill somebody?
No. I don't understand what you're trying to accuse him of.
Well, that didn't sound
But she's the one that said it. It's so funny that they have so much time, because that's the thing. I heard it just like, wait, did she just say that's no reason for him to kill somebody? Why would she jump to him killing somebody if it's not mentally? Like, a lot of people who defend their family at all costs, like I told the story before where my mother, like, one of the worst cases she ever worked was like where this really it was an officer whose house I had been to, got shot in the line of duty by a gang member, and there was like this statewide manhunt for him, and to the day he was, for like 20 some odd years, he was on death row. Till the day he got injected with the chemical to put him under, his mother believed in that monster's innocence. That's how far some people go for that kind of thing, because there's no way she would constantly think. They would never say, oh, he killed. Oh, there's no reason to suspect him of killing somebody, because in their mind, it just doesn't exist. It's like, oh, you're suspecting the wrong person. It's like, why are you talking about him? That kind of thing. That's where your mind goes. But the fact that she's like, oh, that's no reason to kill somebody, already running defense. It's like, why would you bring up killing? Why would you be the one bringing up killing? Yeah, because they go, they're mentally ill. It's like a mental illness, wanting to protect when you truly believe in someone's innocence. And it is sad. It's kind of like those people who fall into cults. And when it comes to like emotion, especially a mother's emotion towards their child, they always want to believe the best, because no matter what, like my mother, she's not even up to my shoulder. She's like right here in my height. I think she's like right here. But no matter what, when I look at her, it always feels like I'm looking up. Because she'll always be, you know, the strong mother I've always had in my life. And I will always be her little boy that probably was hugging her leg. I will always be, no matter how much taller than her I am, I will always be that little boy. And that's the thing. It's just like, that's how it works. That's why my father was the disciplinarian. We knew if my mother was angry, she wouldn't discipline us. But the thing is, like, there was a different tone. Like, there was a different tone entirely. Like, we would all feel guilty when my mother got angry. When my father was punishing us, it was like, okay, we were being stupid. When my mother got angry, we knew we had messed up. We knew we had messed up.
I don't know what he's trying to accuse him of.
That doesn't sound convincing.
Sure enough, that doesn't sound too convincing to the detective, because Cassandra has seemingly slipped up. At this point, no one had told her that the missing family members were dead or that Kane was suspected of killing them. Realizing her mistake, Cassandra quickly starts backpedaling to regain control of the narrative.
You got anything else to say that you want to tell me?
Do you really think Kane killed them or hurt them?
I'm pretty concerned. I don't think three people just vanish off the face of the earth, especially when two of them are elderly. And then Kane just comes in from Canada and all hell breaks loose. That's kind of suspicious to me.
God, I'm so stupid. I wouldn't even think to put two and two together like that. But Mike was so scary when he came down, and he was so aggressive. And I thought we were gonna die. I thought he was gonna shoot us on the property.
Well, he didn't even see that he had a gun.
Kane told me that he had one, and he was mad enough. Oh my God, he was so mad.
As a last-ditch effort, Cassandra goes back to accusing Mike of being responsible for the disappearances. But in fact, officers in New Mexico have already quietly debunked that claim, information they are holding back for the right time and place. Before leaving, they also check Cassandra's car, where they find belongings hastily packed up. But Cassandra explains this as a desperate attempt to run away from her abusive ex-boyfriend. So shortly afterwards, the officers wrap up their visit. But in doing so, they've proven something crucial. They can find Cassandra whenever they want, something she clearly didn't anticipate. It seems as though the confrontation went nearly perfectly for the detectives, but Cassandra has a crucial secret that had went unnoticed at the motel. Kane had traveled to Mississippi alongside her, was staying nearby, and had successfully hidden from officers, marking yet another moment where she misleads police about his whereabouts.
He was probably in the hotel.
So less than an hour after police leave the motel, the two would begin plotting, coming up with a plan they think will get them out of this gruesome mass murder. At 2 p.m., Cassandra's vehicle is seen in front of the Hernando Police Department. Kane would step out and calmly walk into the station. 15 minutes later, Kane would be seated in the department's interview room 2, alongside Detective Stovall. The sudden appearance of Kane would leave detectives with little room to prepare, so Special Agent Silva, a New Mexico detective already working this case, would be placed on call to assist in the interview. It's important to note that this is an interview and not an interrogation, as Kane has agreed to speak voluntarily and has not been detained. In reality, this interview can only work against him, but in his mind, this is both his and Cassandra's final chance at freedom. Agent Silva would begin the interview by making this crystal clear.
Like, these people think they know the law. These people think they know how things work. It's the same kind of brain rot that allows people to say freedom of speech means I can say I want to, remove a particular party from the U.S. government. That's not how it works. But that's the brain rot that we're in. It's the same kind of brain rot. No, violence is never allowed. Any kind of calls to arms, those kinds of things, those dog whistling, never allowed. The fact that he thinks he can go here and somehow convince them otherwise, no, absolutely not. They know who you are. They can track you down. They're gonna find out. Fleeing to Canada? To Canada? I mean, how dumb do you have to be to travel to Canada to run away? No, Mexico makes more sense. You can hide much more easily. Canada, not so much. But then again, I mean, he just probably intermingle with the illegals hiding there as well. Or a lot of the visa holders.
And before we get any further, I do want to let you know that you are not under Miranda rights. You are not anything like that. You are free to leave at any point. You don't have to answer any of my questions, anything like that. You can say, hey, I don't want to answer that question. If you want to, we can go over another question and we can skip to the next one. But I do want to let you know that you are free to leave, okay? Thanks, sir. All right.
After realizing he's free to walk out at any time, Kane shifts tactics. He begins probing the detective for information, trying to figure out how much investigators have bought into the false narrative he's been intentionally feeding them.
Can I ask you something? It's, on one hand, kind of nice to talk to somebody from Otero. Also, maybe a little concerning. Did we have to speak directly because I'm considered a missing person?
Well, that's what I want to talk to you about. Is there's so many missing persons. There's a lot of phone calls to the sheriff's office. So, why would somebody be saying that you're missing? And there's also some other missing reports going on. There's a lot of firearms missing, right? There's a lot of vehicles missing. I want to talk to you and get your side of the story of what's going on.
I was trying to come in and speak with somebody in person.
And what happened with that?
On my way down to Alamogordo, I gave another uncle a phone call because I had seen him on the property and he was a very looming presence at the time. I was hoping to stop in and ask him about some things and some personal aspects that were going on. I wound up getting run off the property and had to kind of go into hiding because I know his influence and the extent of his company.
Which uncle is that?
Mike Blett.
So Mike ran you off the property. You had questions for him? Is that what I'm understanding?
Yes, sir.
So when did this happen?
It was when I was on my way down on the 21st. I kind of explained the situation to my sister a little bit, and I told her, if you don't hear from me, call somebody.
I know I keep jumping around and just trying to confirm everything. You went to Mike's house to talk to him and he shot at you, correct?
Yes, sir.
I want to talk to Mike about that. Why are you shooting at people through front doors? That's kind of dangerous.
That was this week. That was on the 21st. I would absolutely appreciate you taking a look.
Kane makes his alibi clear. Mike, the man who kicked the entire investigation off in the first place, is the suspect detectives need to be focusing on, alleging he shot at them through the front door when they approached the home. Unfortunately, detectives have spent far more time investigating than Kane realizes, allowing Agent Silva to completely debunk Kane's story. Simply put, there are no bullet holes or any signs of a shooting on the property.
Okay. So here's the thing, Kane, is I'm going to start going through some of your story here. Okay, that's not making sense to me. I'm not saying that you're lying. I'm just saying I don't think it's fully there yet, if that makes sense.
It was kind of cut off.
Can you hear me?
Yes, sir.
You went to Mike's house. Mike shot at you this week. to the front door, you announce yourself. How come you didn't call 911?
I know that they very much do not take too kindly to law enforcement.
Okay.
And I kind of really hope for that to be avoided.
So here's
Jay, I don't know. When it comes to Indian politics, I just let them talk. I just let them talk. I don't know why people have so much of a gung-ho for politics. It used to not be so invasive in everything, but now it's taken over everything. But this right here, these people are just, I don't know. What did he think he would get from attacking his family? What did he think he'd get from attacking his family? I can't see any upside to this. Not a single upside. But then again, I don't have the mind of a retard. Oh, correction. I have the mind of a retard, but not the mind of an imbecile? Does that work? I'll say imbecile. I like the word retard more, okay? I'll own being a retard, but no, I'm not an imbecile. Same.
You know, that is, I have some investigators that are there at Mike's house, that have been to at Mike's house. There are no bullet holes through his front door. There are no bullet holes through the siding. They're not seeing you on his cameras at his house. So that's what I'm saying, that some of it's not making sense. So did you actually go to Mike's house and knock on the door? Because you're not on camera.
Did they change?
His cameras go back this week. They go back last week. I'm not seeing you anywhere on there.
We had a ton of different game cams that are all under SD cards. He doesn't have any of the chips from the 21st?
No, I'm saying he has video surveillance of this week and of last week.
Nah, you're fine.
They're not seeing you anywhere on the cameras.
Kane appears shocked by these details.
I always learn a lot
Whatever
when
he
you
thought
guys
happened
are
that could favor his
discussing
story
stuff.
simply didn't. Kane would sit in silence for an extended period of time, seemingly in denial that his plan was so terribly miscalculated.
If they still have the footage, they should totally show me pulling up. I parked along the mailbox. Kind of behind it a bit, not necessarily pulled up past it. Walked right up the drive up to the... It's kind of tucked in between the slope on the hill, and then it goes into the house where the stone steps are. That metal storm door.
Okay. Which one?
I'm just trying to give you a path so that you can see. And that was early afternoonish. I got there between 1 and 3 o'clock, I believe it was. I have to look at the help. I don't have it. But if they have that footage still, then I'm definitely on it.
Kane proceeds to give a nearly 10-minute explanation of where he was parked. Unnecessarily complex explanations like these are usually a telltale sign to the detectives that the suspect has shifted into a defensive state, looking for any validation that the detective is believing their lies. Agent Silva takes note of this and begins leaning deeper, this time pressing Kane on his sister Cassandra and her...
Because the thing is, he said he walked up to the door. If they have camera footage of the door, like I have footage around the house, like I would know if someone claimed to come to the house and I had pulled my gun and was shooting at them, why there would be a video of it. There would be a video of it. Time-stamped and everything.
Involvement. Previously, police recovered and documented strange items during the home's crime scene search, and it's still unclear why they were there. Silva plans to use these details to force Kane into defending Cassandra's innocence, a tactic that will create a contradicting story compared to what Cassandra told officers just hours prior.
So are you aware that we spoke to Cassandra?
Yes, sir.
And the reason I ask is I'm just trying to get, like, if something happened up there, Kane, I want to know, like, was there an argument going on? I know that you were up there in January, okay? We can kind of get away from that. You were up there in January. If something happened up there, I want to know what happened, okay? If there was an argument, if something happened, like, kind of help me help you, okay? What happened when you were up there in January of this year?
I'm trying to figure out everything that has happened as well. That's part of why I wanted to speak with you guys and kind of get you involved in looking.
I'm going to be honest with you, I'm confused on these timelines. You were up there this week at some point, and you were up there last week at some point. So what happened this week and last week while you were up there with the family? That's what I want to know.
They weren't there. Nothing's happened.
You were at the house on the 18th.
See, this is the kind of thing, this is kind of why I'm for capital punishment, because if he ends up with life in prison, his life, his doctor's appointments, I bring this up a lot. Prisoners get treated better than our medical veterans, or than our veterans. Prisoners get treated better than our elderly. That's how messed up our system is, to where he can get dental, he can get braces while he's in freak, and it's all covered. It's all covered. Everything is covered while in prison. Why? They ruin their life. Why do we have to give them the best of care? It should be like lock them in a cage, let them fight it out, type thing. Sure, it's barbaric, but they're the ones acting like barbarians. Why would we treat barbarians civilly? No, someone that acts like an animal, you treat them like an animal. If a dog bites you, you lock them up and you put them down. That's just how it works. Why don't we do the exact same thing with humans? Of course, you have to be more humane. We could just go the extent of locking them up. But why are we giving them all this extra care? They're not worth it. They're not worth it. We spend so much time, so much money on taking care of these people who have ruined their own lives. Sure, there are those who have done like a small mistake, done something stupid. Yeah, but those could be taken out of like there's Gen Pop, then there's what is it? Not private care, but like not protective care, protective custody. I forget the word. My brain's not working, I guess. But it's like there are so many different categories. Like this is what child predators get. They get protective custody. They get put in like a protected class because they're more likely to get stabbed by the regular Gen Pop. That's just the truth. Like even prisoners think that's a heinous crime. But the thing is, it's like there should be a situation. The more heinous ones that are spending their life in prison, lock them all up in one. And every few years, there would be one or two or maybe 10 free spots to add more life termers there, because they'll be taking care of themselves while in prison. They'll be clearing it all for the rest of us. It's crazy. It's crazy. I just don't get it. I think they've made their mistakes. They've made their mistakes. Some people are worth rectifying. Someone who's committed like petty crime, or someone like those people who were having a party and ended up burning down half the forest and so many because they were just being idiots, thinking they could light fireworks in the middle of the woods in the middle of summer. It was like that. There are people who probably shouldn't get so heinous. There are such thing as mistakes, but he's already got 3 body counts on his record. 3 freaking body counts.
I'm not sure.
El, just curious, do you follow Christianity? I'm Christian. I mean, I don't exactly know what you mean by follow, because depending on what type of church you go to, they have all different kinds of, oh, do this, do this, do this. No, but I'm Christian.
The reason I ask is because Cassie has been in contact, and she showed us a screenshot, January 18th at 3:57. It's between you and her that says, wait quietly. It's safe, wait for me.
That's actually something that I was going to try to find.
And it says, I believe this is from you or from her.
That's the text that says wait for me, and it says I'm safe.
I'm sorry?
Those are the texts that say wait, and that I'm safe.
It says I'm safe, wait for me, and then there's a response that says, gotcha, I have eyes on the front, so far so good.
That's the day that Mike came up to bed.
Okay.
At this point, Kane must be starting to realize Cassandra may not have been on his side as much as he had thought. Not only are the police beginning to take a clear side, but his only teammate might be against him as well, perhaps explaining why she dropped him off at the police station. Note that Kane at this point can avoid any question he wants, and more importantly, can leave whenever he wants. Even Agent Silva decides to take a brief step away from the phone, but Kane would stay, instead letting the officer in the room in on what's going through his mind.
Between you, me, and the walls, I really think someone is trying to pin years worth of shit on me. Because I came back home at the wrong time and interrupted something.
I'm just here. These guys. What would you really do? So I asked him the question, I'm just sitting here.
Mr. Silva seems like a trustworthy detective. I used to joke, though, and I always say I make a great scapegoat. I'm kind of hoping it's not the case this time. I came here today to ask you guys for help and talk to people that I knew wouldn't be necessarily under an outside influence. Right.
So it's now the precinct down in New Mexico that's bad. It's now that precinct that is corrupt. It's not anything he did. It's the entire precinct. Like, that's the thing. There are a few bad apples everywhere you go, no matter what kind of job you have. But if you're like in law enforcement or a soldier or like a politician, when you're a bad apple, it's more of a negative on society than, let's say you're cooking food, and no, that's still bad. You could poison someone that way. Yeah, like you're cleaning toilets and you just don't wipe the toilet one day. Like, that's a different kind of thing than being a corrupt officer. But there is no one worse on, like, nobody in police wants to work with that bad apple. Nobody does. And they all know who that one guy is. When they do one thing bad, they're marked with it for the rest of their lives. Even if it's bad enough to ruin their career, they're out. Or there is the situation to where they do the act, and then it doesn't ruin their career. They still have a career, but no one else will ever really go to bat for them. No one else will ever stick their neck out for them. Why? Because that person's corrupt, and they will always be corrupt. Even if it's one small mistake. Oh, there was a stack of hundreds of bills, and I just took 100 bill. It was nothing big, but you're always known for that one mistake. And then that's the thing. It's just like there's no entire precinct, no matter what you see in movies, which are absolutely corrupt. At least I haven't seen one yet, even though movies make it seem like they're everywhere. It's normally just one bad apple in the situation.
But do you see how it looks for us? I mean, they've shown physical evidence of this whole situation.
And then you're one day you're here in Mississippi, no ties to Mississippi at all. Like, you got no family here.
No, sir.
You got nothing here.
No, sir. My family died, man.
If I was in that seat, and a detective 13 hours away on a cell phone call told me that who are they to you?
My brother, your grandmother, and my uncle.
Your brother, your grandmother, your uncle. If somebody called me and said, not only was my brother killed, but also your grandmother and your uncle were killed. If somebody told me that over the phone, you know what I would be doing? Do you know what I would be doing?
Crying.
I wouldn't be sitting there staring at a wall. I'd be bawling my eyes out. I'd be throwing the water bottle across the room. I'd probably rip this table out of the wall.
Yeah, but then you guys just rush in here.
But I wouldn't give a shit. I wouldn't give it. Because of how much I'm close with my brother. I'm not close with my grandma. But it's still with the fact that somebody did that to my family. Do you understand where I'm coming from?
Well, they asked what I think should happen to Mike or whoever did this, and in polite company I couldn't see, but back where I'm from, they could a tree.
Right. So that's more of the response that you would expect. But the issue I'm having is there's no emotion. You've expressed no sadness. We're not getting anything. Which leads me to believe you already knew this had occurred.
I didn't know that.
Look.
Even the officers with no context of the case can't help but assume Kane was involved in the murders, leaving him to sit in silence as he realizes how poorly this voluntary interview has gone. Agent Silva would return and continue pressing Kane for answers, eventually revealing that he had, in fact, been inside the house multiple times the week of the 3 victims' disappearance, and admitted to helping Cassandra travel to Mississippi with her kids, something she lied about earlier in the motel. Even worse for Kane is that, as the hours-long interview progressed, officers behind the scenes were already taking action. They were instructed to locate his uncle's stolen green Subaru, which they suspected Kane used to drive to Mississippi alongside Cassandra's own vehicle. After looking through surveillance footage and searching around the city, officers hit the jackpot and tracked down the missing car. Inside, they found latex gloves, .22 caliber ammunition, an empty Ruger pistol box, and most importantly, Kane's passport, tying him directly to the stolen vehicle. Now investigators have exactly what they've been missing: probable cause. And with that, Kane is no longer free to leave, and he's about to find out just how massively his attempt to clear himself and Cassandra backfired.
Huh. I was just thinking about it. Why is it called Cops Realize Psycho Daughter's car is filled with bodies? Daughters? Why is it daughters? This is Kane. I'm so confused.
You want to stand up real quick?
The name is so weird. Oh yeah, I've seen Raid. Both 1 and 2.
Alright.
So what's going on, man? You're going to be going down to the Southern County Sheriff's Office, all right? You're going down to our jail, all right? Yes, sir. All right, walk this way.
Back at the Motel 8 in Mississippi, Cassandra would patiently wait for Kane to return, give her a call, or just show any signs his interview was over. But as hours passed, it became clear that something had gone terribly wrong. Growing worried, Cassandra packed her bags and fled alongside her children, making yet another 1,000-mile drive back to New Mexico. Detectives keep tracking her phone signal until it finally stops at her parents' house. By this point, investigators have more than enough to justify Cassandra's arrest. But one critical question still remains. Was she directly involved in the murders? And if so, to what extent? Because of that uncertainty, officers make a deliberate decision. Rather than moving in aggressively, only 4 investigators go to the house, keeping the encounter calm and cooperative. Their goal is to interview Cassandra on the property and, if possible, apply enough pressure to turn her against Kane. If they can do this, they'll be able to pin both Kane and Cassandra against each other, forcing them to incriminate themselves.
Bryce Ayler, he's with Louisiana Sheriff's Office in the Fire team. Right? No. So there's not 100 of us today, there's just 3 of us.
Do you want me to start from the beginning from what I know, or do you want to ask more questions first?
No, I'm going to let you tell your story, and just so that you know, you're not under arrest. You're free to leave whenever you want to leave. We came to you because we talked on the phone earlier through the text.
And what I told her is she needs to stop overthinking everything. She's trying to be a detective herself because she's seen all this stuff and she's trying to put pieces together and knows that he was lying to her about things. So just start at the beginning and tell it like you told us.
So I wanted to apologize to you because whenever I spoke to you the last time, I wasn't thinking straight.
Not only is Cassandra much more cooperative this time, but she quickly admits that she had been dishonest before and even apologizes. Her father's comment makes it seem like she's on the verge of throwing Kane under the bus, which is exactly what investigators are here for. So with the reassurance that she's not under arrest, Cassandra begins to share some much-needed details about how 3 of her relatives ended up mysteriously dead.
So I know on Thursday, we were driving up there and we had just went through Ruidoso, and he said that he wanted to stop by Bent right quick. So he said, okay, drop me off here.
This is one of the easiest ways to get them to just incriminate themselves, because as soon as one gives the information, you go to the other one, you book them, you give him the information that they now have on him, the story that was told, then he's going to have another story which also will incriminate her and her dealings. Sure, he will still be the main guilty party, but she's been the accomplice throughout. I mean, who goes to the, sure, my wife will always assist me in my situations, but this is a sister. I mean, gosh, my brothers wouldn't. But if I went shopping with my wife and I got like 3 cases of kerosene and then 4 jugs of bleach, I think she would already be aware of what's going on. But it's my wife, so she'd assist me. And this is his sister. If I took my brother with me, he's calling the cops. He's calling the cops. My wife would help me. My brother would report me. Who's right in the situation? But yeah, I mean, it's just like, so they're going to start turning on each other. They're going to start turning on each other from then on.
Wait here and I will let you know if I need anything. I probably left him alone for like 45 minutes-ish.
Where does he go?
He's inside the house.
Okay.
And he says that he couldn't find anything. Don't know where anybody's at. And that it's okay for me to come inside. And I go inside. And like I kept telling you, it smelled fucking weird in there. Almost like something had like died within the walls. Like an animal or something. I was already concerned by the fact that he felt like something had happened. So I'm trying to rationalize through that. And he's just saying, I'll do it. And we're doing things legally. It's okay. And then he has me help him. He drives the car off somewhere and has me help him push it off into like this little ditch thing. And at one point, whenever I tried to say, hey, you guys, like, you need to call somebody, he said that the majority of the cops up there are crooked. I worked in the ER down here. I can see how you can think that sometimes, for sure. No offense. So like, no offense to you guys either.
Investigators are clearly not fond of Cassandra's strange remark, though by now it's becoming clear to detectives that Cassandra is putting Kane at the center of everything, while noticeably avoiding any direct mention of the murders, the cleanup, or the burnt bodies. Instead, she frames everything vaguely, claiming Kane suspected something happened inside the house, but they didn't look too deeply into it, and that she was simply helping him deal with a property dispute. Investigators allow Cassandra to continue telling her story, but the more she talks, the more convoluted her version of events becomes. Then at this point, she even invites them inside, where the story only grows longer. After nearly 2 hours of listening, Agent Kyle Graham decides it's time to push back.
So now we're going to get into my portion, okay? I don't know, there's been probably a team of 15 hours of listening. So we know a lot of stuff, we know everything about that property. And some of the stuff that you're saying does make sense and does add up. However, some of the stuff that you're saying doesn't make sense to me and doesn't add up. And quite frankly, I don't think some of it happened. But I will tell you right now, I don't feel like Kane could have done everything that he did alone. And I think he included you into a whole mess of a situation. I don't believe that you killed anybody in this house or on that property. I strongly believe that. I don't think that you had any part of murdering people. But I do strongly believe
that he fucked himself and he needed help, and you're a helpful person, and he put you in a shitty spot and said, help me. I need help cleaning this property. I need help cleaning all this blood up, and I need help getting these fucking bodies out of this house. But now's your chance. I'm giving you the opportunity. Because I'm telling you right now, I have all that I need. The gig's up, the game's over. Okay? This is your opportunity and your chance to tell me, what did he make
This is
you do?
phasmophobia.
What did he ask you to help him to do?
All I know of is that he wanted me to
Watch,
undo
the cross is gonna light on fire.
The couch. But I...
Did you notice no blood on that? Think about it before you answer that.
Not the side that I picked it up from, no. All I did was what he asked me to do.
But you understand, all you did what he asked you to do. It's too late. You already helped him. That's already a crime.
Which
it's
I
too late.
know that.
So
That's the reason why I asked if I needed an attorney, because I tampered with evidence.
correct. So
And it wasn't until after the fact that I sat there and I thought about it, because he said that everything was found that way.
so the charge is already there. There's not going to be any more of. It's not going to get any worse, other than you just telling the truth of what happened. The charge is there. You already have a tampering with evidence charge on a first-degree murder. Okay, that's a second-degree felony.
Needless to say, this is not what Cassandra is hoping to hear. In this moment, she realizes her days of freedom may be numbered if she continues twisting the facts to protect both herself and Kane.
Be honest.
Cassandra knows something has to give, so after hearing what's awaiting her, she asks to step outside for a smoke, and this is where she finally gives detectives a small piece of the truth.
Like
Because
I
her
said,
parents aren't there.
I went out there. I went out to the store. And I came back. He said they found them that way.
He said
what?
that way?
So what did he tell you he found?
People. Before.
How many people?
And who are they?
Julian, Mary, and Victor. I signed up to take him to a job interview. I didn't sign up for him to do this.
Do you now believe that he did it?
I don't know what to believe. I just know that there was a mess, and then there was a lot of illegal shit. Lots of illegal shit.
What else did you help clean up inside the house? Besides the blood?
And the furniture, taking it up.
Yeah.
And I didn't see
Have fun,
how bad the
Jay.
furniture was.
Did you help clean up anything else?
There's so.
Actually, it really depends on the state, because I know in some locations, if you're just honest with the officers, the attorney can't really do any better than the officers being like, all right, this is just a dumb kid being dumb. Even though she's already an adult, even though she's already a mother, she's being manipulated, and it's just a bad situation. So they probably would give her leniency. And then she doesn't have to deal with paying a crap ton of money towards a lawyer who would get her basically the same deal. Because having an attorney is good if you can, well, if they can lessen your sentence or if they can get you off. But there is no situation, especially with how much evidence, with how much defense, and back in the day before body cams and things like that, because now they can play the body cam footage in the courtroom, and then the judge can make a verdict off of what he sees here and there, or right at the beginning. And if they see her break down and basically be honest early on, it's a more lenient sentence. It's the fact that she's been constantly giving the runaround, which will lengthen it a bit. But having an attorney, I don't think would assist anymore. I don't think would do anything. But it also depends on the state. It really depends on the state. Because in some locations, I mean, you have to have an attorney. You have to have an attorney if you're going to be through something like this. And I don't know if New Mexico is one of them. In some of them, they'll just be like, all right, we have this case. Can we just take it to the judge? And then they'll give a sentencing. Odds are, if anything, if with her coming clean, and if they don't find it out any more information that she's hidden, it's probably just going to be she's put on parole. Maybe serve some time, a short amount, because she's a mother. Not a good influence, but she's a mother. And then she'll be given parole for however many years.
Many red flags going on right now of you saying that you walked into this house and King telling you, holy shit, I just walked into a house and all my family's dead. Let's get rid of them.
That does sound really stupid.
Doesn't it sound stupid when you say it out loud? Because I guarantee you, I walk into a house with my family dead, shit's about to hit the fan because we got to figure out what the hell just happened. And I'm calling the cops.
I don't...
We're telling you, we've done our research. I've gotten 0 sleep in 5 days. We're not letting this go. This is a triple homicide.
And not letting it go is exactly what investigators are going to spend the rest of the day trying to do, hoping Cassandra will eventually crack and give them the full story. Unfortunately, though, this is the closest they will get to a real admission, as Cassandra begins to backpedal and returns to a revised version of events where she claims they found their family members already dead. They then simply decide to cover up the scene to avoid getting in trouble because Kane believed the police were corrupt. Detectives would spend until nightfall pressing Cassandra with no success, and she ultimately sticks to the same story. So before ending the interview and leaving, Agent Graham has one more rather strange question that's been on his mind all this time.
He had access to my phone. He knew my passwords. Like I said, I trusted him. He was supposed to be my brother.
Can I ask you a really weird question?
Sure.
No, never mind.
No, go for it.
Why'd you guys buy a brand new box of condoms?
No, that was a joke. It should be the skin on latex. And I had bought those in Chattanooga. And I threw them at Walter because I was tired of having kids and I was tired of being pregnant all the time.
But why would they be in the vent house?
I don't know. Why would they be in the vent house?
That's why I have a weird question.
Last time I knew about them, they were in the they were at my house.
Well, this was in the well house with all of the cleanup.
He told me that there was a possibility that Corinne wasn't his mother due to DNA results, and that there was a potential that he had feelings for me.
Kane?
Mm-hmm.
And that's not weird for you? Like, to be around him with your kids when you guys are pretty much brother and sister?
Like, it was weird, but he never acted on it.
I thought you guys were step siblings, not half siblings.
No, we're half siblings.
Well, because we also found the pregnancy test.
Yep, I had a one-night stand at the Variety, and I didn't start my period on time, and I panic and I overthink, and there should be 4 of them.
The detective's tone makes it clear they aren't convinced, suspecting Kane and Cassandra are hiding important details about their relationship. By now, though, what investigators came here to do is partially successful, even though there's still no direct admission tying their suspects to the killings.
I like how I called it out like 40 minutes ago. All I had to say was incest. It's again, because I see this and I compare it to like me and my wife. I don't compare it to me and my brothers, because my brothers would call the cops on me if I was buying all that stuff. If I was buying that stuff, what would my wife do? She would help me. She would help me. A sister wouldn't help. A loved one would. A loved one would. What buying? I think they bought like 4 cans of bleach, 5 jugs of kerosene, matches, lighters, like all different kinds of stuff for, well, cleaning a crime scene and burning something down. I mean, what brother would be like, oh, that's a very interesting purchase charge, and just do nothing about it and then assist you? No. Someone who's smitten with you would. So like a boyfriend that has a simp that has a crush on a girl, or a girl that has a crush on a guy, or a married couple, or yeah, it goes on and on and on. It goes on and on and on. But yeah, I mean, a brother wouldn't, a sister wouldn't, a cousin wouldn't.
Cassandra has implicated both herself and Kane in the cover-up. Because of this, Cassandra is officially detained and brought back to the police station. What exactly was said during Cassandra's arrest remains unknown, but the pressure appears to have completely broken her. In the hours that followed, she went on to further incriminate Kane, seemingly doing everything she could to distance herself from what happened, no matter the cost to him. A betrayal that would later come as a complete shock to Kane.
All I knew is that I had PTSD from the last time he saw cops, because there was my blood all over the floor and my head through the wall, and I was trying to protect him from that. If he was really as innocent as he said he was, then there was going to be nothing to hide, right? Which is why I dropped him off at the jail.
I was pretty shocked that he showed up at the police department in Mississippi.
Because I told him if he was as innocent as he told me that he was, if he really found them the way they were, then that's all he had to tell you guys, and you would figure out the rest.
In the following days, Kane is brought into an interrogation room, this time in an orange jumpsuit, for what would be his final interview. Agent Graham is assigned to conduct the interview, the same investigator who previously spoke with Cassandra and secured her confession. By this stage, Graham knows the case inside and out, and he approaches the interview with a
yeah, by blood. By blood. But not by both parents, by one parent. So I'm guessing the mother. On his mother's side, that's his sister. But they probably don't share the same father. And the reason why I assume that is because, well, that it's normally the mothers that seem to take responsibility of the children, not so much the fathers. So if that, yeah. But then again, he doesn't know the other one. So it must be half on his father's side, or maybe his mother's, maybe, I don't know, but it's half-blood. It's half-blood. It's just half-blood. Bleach to clean huge area of the whatever. or what it called in the West, well, the crime scene for sure. And other things, bleach is used to clean wells, kitchen kerosene is used for cooking stove, and well, it's used to burn down cars here. It's used to burn down cars.
Deliberate strategy, intent on extracting as much information as possible. And in this case, that's exactly what's needed, because now, more than ever, detectives need a confession. Right as the interrogation begins, Kane makes a desperate attempt to ensure Cassandra is keeping her story together. He seems to be completely unaware that Cassandra isn't protecting him anymore.
Do you happen to have a pen handy?
I do.
Do you have her number? Because I have it in my wallet at the jail, but they won't let me access it. And I need to make sure that she's okay, because she mentioned wanting to go back down to New Mexico. And after doing it once, that's already a hard enough trip.
Well, I talked to her Sunday when she got back into Roswell.
I don't even know what the date is, man.
At this point, Kane still believed Cassandra was in Mississippi and hadn't spoken to officers since their first contact. Unfortunately, not only did Cassandra confess since then, but she did it in front of the very detective, sitting just feet away.
So, I talked to her on Sunday. I traveled to Roswell when she got in. I talked to her for probably, I don't know, more than 2, less than 4 hours, okay? And then on Monday, I traveled to Roswell again, and
Yeah, burned down a car with 3 bodies inside of it. That's what they used it for.
talked to her again, okay, for about, I don't know, 2 hours, okay? But I learned a lot from her, okay? And I'm hoping that I'm going to learn more from you. I don't want to call anybody a liar, but I think there's some inconsistencies with your statements. Because I want you to know that there's going to be a lot of questions that I ask you that I already know the answer to, but this is going to be a test for you to see if you're being truthful with me, okay? Because I know it's the truth, because I've been working this case since Wednesday the 22nd, okay?
After Agent Graham makes it obvious Kane is on his own now, the interview demeanor changes fast. He wastes no time bringing up Cassandra's confession and placing it directly against Kane, making it clear that detectives are no longer relying on his version of events alone.
Did you hurt anybody inside that house, including Victor, Killian, and Mary?
No, sir.
So, how does Victor, Killian, and Mary just mysteriously go missing?
I've been trying to find out the same.
You do understand, though, that we found all 3 of them, correct? I believe Special Agent Silva did tell you that.
He alluded to something that I was really hoping is not truthful.
So I'm not really one to beat around the bush, okay? I call it like it is, okay? But Cassie's told me everything that's happened, okay? She told me the involvement. She told me what you guys did. That you walked into the house, you found all 3 of them dead. You guys picked up their bodies, you put them in the blue Subaru, you drove it up the hill, you guys both tipped it over. She told me it all, okay? You guys used a little green dolly to pick him up and put him on the dolly, wheel him out to the car. You tied a rope around Killian's waist, hooked the rope up to your dad's hitch, and drove the car to pull him into the back seat. So the gig's up, Kane, okay? I told you I don't beat around the bush.
I just want to know how they flipped the car. Honestly, that's the only thing I want to figure out. Because them getting it there, pushing over a car isn't that easy. Especially for his frail self and his sister. Like, no. It is no possible way.
I've worked over 100 hours in 1 week, okay? This is serious. So now, this is your opportunity and your chance to tell me your side of the story. Cassie's told me hers. Okay?
Okay.
As Kane sits in silence, the realization sets in. He's on his own now, and whatever story he had planned coming into this interrogation has now been flipped entirely on its head. But Agent Graham presents the story strategically. By laying it out exactly as Cassandra described it, he gives Kane an opening to admit only to helping conceal the murders, while shifting responsibility for the actual killings onto someone else. If he can get this confession first, it'll be significantly easier to get Kane to confess to the killings later on.
Do you want to start back at the beginning? And I know the date that all this happened also.
I can tell you what happened. I can't tell you why. I don't know. I was trying to find out. I fucked up your crime scene, and I'm sorry for that.
Is everything that I just said, what Cassie told me, is that accurate?
To a degree.
And what isn't?
When we went to the house that day.
And it's just you and Cassie?
Yeah.
Not the kids?
No. There's a witness too.
And who was that?
The mailman. He can attest to this.
Like the postal man that drives and delivers the mail in the mailboxes?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. We had gotten there just before him. He went up. I told her to hang tight for a minute because that meant that everybody would be awake. And that was kind of looking hopeful. Killian was up and moving about. And I knocked on the door. I told him, hey, you just missed the postman. And he was real fidgety. He was scratching his head a lot. He was irritated. And I told him, hey, I got some good news. Everything's moving along with the mortgage company. We're looking to move in and we ought to be all set by like the end of the month. Everything should be good. They got my process, or my status is pending. He closed the door. And I watched him take the mail off to the bedroom. And then he went back. And I heard like... must have been 20 gunshots. I didn't even think to do the front door. I just ran around to the side, came through my door. And it wasn't closed all the way. I ran through the bedroom. My Uncle Vic was laying in his doorway with a gun in one hand. His other was like shaking, just kind of like floating there. And Killian was across from him. I don't know why. I don't know who shot. I don't know.
So where? I'm sorry.
Yep, the same guy.
I'm sorry, Kane, but
the video
I don't
hasn't
mean to be
ended.
an
It's
ass,
an
okay?
hour
But I
and
know
30 minutes.
when you were going down this road, that's where you were headed. Okay, that one of them did all this. The evidence.
They both had guns.
Kane and Victor both had guns. Killian, sorry.
They both had f***ing guns, and they told me there weren't any left in the house.
Where are they? You and Cassie were the only ones in there. So what'd you guys do with the guns? Do you see that I've been doing this for a long time, okay? I'm not dumb. This isn't my first homicide.
Yeah, they shot each other. They did it cowboy style, you know, the Wild West draw. Like, yeah, they did the quick draw and they both shot on each other. They both died. So all of them died, but apparently grandmother passed away. It's a Reservoir Dogs, if you saw the film. So in that movie, at the very end, almost everyone points a gun at everyone except for one person doesn't have a gun pointed at him. And then everyone pulls the trigger. Everyone dies. How does everyone die when one person didn't have a gun on them? That's what happened to the grandmother. She just died with everyone else. With everyone else. That's just what happened. That's just what happened.
Okay.
Kane falls directly into Agent Graham's trap, confessing to concealing the bodies and giving a terribly thought-out lie about who committed the murders. But Graham doesn't stop there and begins pressing further, letting Kane know that nothing he can say at this point will dig him out of his grave.
I'm not gonna lie to you though, Kane. Like this was a pretty tough one for us. This took a lot of time. This is the most that we've ever spent on a case, by the way. This is the farthest we've been to investigate one too. And I mean, the whole wrapping the rope around Killian's waist and pulling him in with the other car. I mean, that was pretty creative. And I'm being serious. I'm not being a smartass. I don't know how I would have got him in the car either. I don't know how I would have got him on the wagon. That's 200 pounds dead weight. 280 pounds dead weight. That's a lot.
Jeez.
I mean, you're not much bigger than me. I mean, think about how crazy that sounds though. Like you were cremating them. And you went up there on the 22nd and you burned them, right? After you and her put chain link over the top of the car with the little camouflage tarp thing and all the sticks and brush covering it.
I did try to offer them a cremation.
I mean, that was nice of you.
But I didn't hurt them.
Because the rest of the family didn't get to say their goodbyes.
There aren't enough of us left.
And I mean, I gotta give it to you too. Using the come-alongs and the steel pipe to prop it over to get it dumped over. Like, this is one of the most creative homicides that I've seen.
I didn't hurt anybody, sir. I would
Not
never
creative
hurt
in a good way, I guess.
But Kane, that's what they all say. I don't buy that you didn't do it. I'm sorry. I can't. I think Cassie's full on a lot of things, but I don't think she's full on that. And I'm not so sure that she wasn't involved in it, to be honest with you.
She wasn't even there, sir.
Okay, well, I'm telling you right now, Cassie's in jail. That's why you can't get a hold of her.
Then I need an attorney.
Okay.
My next question is, are you going to sign a waiver of extradition to go back to Mexico, or do you want us to have to get a governor's warrant and you set up here in our jail for months?
Do you mean New Mexico?
Yeah.
Okay. What do you think, Detective?
I can't tell you, but I can serve you with this target notice, okay? These are the charges that are being filed against you. This is what we're going for grand jury, okay?
I can't accept that.
Well, it's not an option. These are the charges.
That's what's coming against me.
Yes, sir. These are your charges.
Clearly, Kane doesn't seem to understand the law, and he'll be fighting the charges regardless of whether he accepts them or not. On paper, Kane is charged with an array of crimes, including arson, aggravated burglary, and 3 counts of first-degree murder. Additionally,
it's kind of like when you're being sued, you get served the papers. They've done their diligence. They've served him the papers. He doesn't need to agree to it. He doesn't need to sign it. There's nothing he can do, because as soon as you're served the papers, the process has started. It has begun from that point onward. And they served him his papers. They have already everything in motion. He doesn't need to approve it or anything. But yeah, he's done for. He's done
Will
for.
be officially charged following the interrogation, also getting 3 counts of first-degree murder, conspiracy to commit murder, and tampering with evidence. In the weeks that follow, detectives and prosecutors begin assembling the full picture. The blood patterns inside the house, the cleanup supplies, the burned Subaru, the shell casings, the clothing, the phone records, and Cassandra's own statements describing the disposal of the bodies. And after countless sleepless nights, investigators believe they have finally pieced together what happened. Victor, Mary, and Killian were killed near the south bedroom and kitchen before being moved through the house. Their bodies were then loaded into Victor's blue Subaru, which Kane allegedly drove into the canyon, pushed over a ditch, and set on fire. Kane's shifting stories and control of the green Subaru point investigators towards him as the primary actor, while Cassandra's admissions place her squarely in the cleanup and cover-up. Detectives see Kane returning from Canada as the start of a growing grievance over what he believes is rightfully his, 22 acres of family land. They allege that a dispute over the property motivated Kane, and that he drew Cassandra into a plan to cover up the deaths and claim control of the land. For now, both remain presumed innocent unless and until they are proven guilty in court. If convicted, they could each face multiple life sentences under New Mexico law with decades behind bars before any possibility of parole. As for Mike, Lourdes, and the other relatives, they can rest safely for now, praying that those responsible never see the light of day again.
Whew. Gosh, that was long. That was long. But oh my freaking gosh, that is bad. I can't believe that. I seriously can't believe just how monstrous some people are. Just how absolutely disgusting some people are. Again, the title still seems a bit weird. Cops realize psycho daughter's car is filled with bodies. That has to be just a clickbait title because it's just out of nowhere. It has nothing to do with the actual video. Because it's just like, what, cars filled with bodies? What is it talking about? But yeah, I do gotta say, we are not as harsh on people as we should be.
You guys saw the video? It was so bad.
And don't forget to like and subscribe.